Let's continue naming aromatic compounds. So here's your strategy, parent chain. Then we see the substituents, we name them, we number the chain. Here, remember, we're going to give priority always to the main functional group. The one that gives the name to the parent chain is the one that we're going to be choosing as carbon 1 in the ring. If we have more than 2 substituents, we cannot use ortho-meta para. That nomenclature, for example, here, you can use meta, but if we have 3 substituents, we cannot. So we need to use the numbers in the chain. And when we list substituents, we need to list alphabetically. So let's go and start with this one. Okay, so parent chain. Parent chain, I need to recognize this is aniline, so I am highlighting that. So if this is aniline, my functional group, my carbon number 1 is this. So now we have 2 ways of numbering. If I do 1, 2, 3, 4, substituents are going to be in 3 and 4. But if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, they're going to be in 4 and 5. So the right number is the one that I did first. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right, so in this case, as I said at the beginning, we cannot use ortho-meta pair. We have now 3 substituents, 3 groups. All right, so what I need to be using then is the numbering to do that. So here I have aniline is my parent chain, so substituents are bromo and chloro. I need to list alphabetically, so I need to say 4 bromo, 3 chloro, and I'm gonna write it under, but it should be like here, aniline. I'm just saving space, okay? So again, listen is alphabetically. Substituents are chloro and bromo, so bromo goes first, despite of being number 4 in the numbering here. Now, in the example that I have in the middle, now I have 2 substituents. This time I can use ortho-meta para nomenclature for that. So in my parent chains, identify my parent chain is that. So I know that that is phenol. Right, so in my substituent is chloro. Since this is the one that gives the name to the parent chain. So this is my carbon number 1, 2, and 3. And numbering this way, I assign number 3 to chloro, and it will be 2, 3, 4, and 5 if I went the other way. So that's the correct numbering. So here, the name of the compound is 3-chlorophenol, or we can say meta chlorophenol. So we can say 3-chlorophenol, we can say M-chlorophenol, M the abbreviation for meta. So that is what we're going to be using. So I'm just going to erase the whole word. Just say M-chlorophenol. You can say 3 or M-chlorophenol. Now, in the next example, I just have 3 bromine substituents in a benzene. So my parent chain is benzene. So I'm going to start writing that. That's my parent chain. Now, I have 3 bromines, so substituent, the name is bromo, but I have 3 of those, so this tri-bromo. And now I'm assigning numbers. If we do 1, 2, 3, and 4, substituents are going to be in 1, 2, and 4, which is better than if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So that's the correct numbering. So here we say 1, 2, 4, tribromo, benzene. So 1, 2, 4, tribromo, benzene. Okay. Now the examples that I have in this line below have 3 substituents, so no longer can use ortho-meta para. Remember, this is just when you have disubstituted benzenes. So here, steps again. Here we have 2 choices, but the IUPAC preferred choice actually is given the phenol, the parent chain, but you could also do aniline. So naming as phenol your parent name, I'm gonna go, notice I can do 1, 2, 3, well, if I do that, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, substituents are in 2 and 5, and if I do 1, 2, 3, so it's larger. So this numbering is correct. So if I use these numbers, this is going to be parent chain is phenol, and this is alphabetically, I need to say amino first. So 5 amino, 2 bromo, 2 dash bromo phenol. Okay. If I did, again, now phenol would be the preferred IUPAC, but you could also have chosen aniline as your parent chain. If this is the case, that will have a different name. So, but it's the same, so it's also recognized. So if this is the case, you need to change the numbers because now carbon 1 is this. So if I do, let me use another color for the other numbering. So I'm gonna do 1 here, in the case I choose aniline as my parent chain, aniline. So if this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is going to be the substituents to aniline are bromo and hydroxy. So I need to say for bromo, no, yeah, bromo goes first. So 4 bromo, 3 hydroxy, aniline. So that's the other name. That's my name, that's another name. Of course, you can name it choosing benzene as your parent chain. You can do it exercise. Now let's do the next molecule. Next molecule, what is my parent chain? Is this, and this is benzaldehyde. Benzaldehyde, let's remember, is this. Only that in this time we see the CHO, the abbreviation of the aldehyde functional group. So my parent chain here is benzaldehyde. And that's the first thing I do, always that. Then substituents are ethyl, and this substituent has 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it is isobutyl. So in that case, then I'm gonna say, let's do the numbering, that's the next step. So that I can list, I know it's ethyl and isobutyl, but I go, if I go 1, 2, 3, or I can go 1, 2, that's better, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So an isobutyl will be first, so I'm going to say 5 isobutyl, and then 2 ethyl benzaldehyde. Okay. Substituents can also be named this substituents IUPAC. And instead of using isobutyl, we can say, notice the parent chain at the substituent has 1, 2, 3 carbons. So isobutyl is 2-methyl propyl. So I'm going to write that down. So because that's, say, the IUPAC naming of that substituent, which is branch. So isobutyl, which is this, say that pattern, that division. But choosing carbon 1 is the one that's attached to the main chain. So 1, 2, 3. 2-methyl, this is equal to 2-methyl propyl. So you may see also that instead of written isobutyl, that. Okay, so let's name the last one. My last compound over here is choosing parent chain. Is now, this is benzoic acid. And what is benzoic acid? Remember that? This. That is, say, abbreviating benzoic acid, okay? So let's name that. So substituents are nitrile and isopropyl. So the numbering now, I need to say 1, and then I can go, notice I can go 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. So because it is the same, say, location, I'm gonna give priority to the one that is goes first alphabetically, so isopropyl and nitro. So in that case, I'm gonna go, if you do that, you will say 3, 4, and 5. So we're gonna name that as 3 isopropyl and 5 nitro benzoic acid. Okay. And in regards to the prefixes to the substituents, the iso is one exception. When you see, for example, substituents such as tributyl, when listing, you disregard the tert. You only see that. But actually, iso, we do take into account that as one exception when we're naming that. Also remember that isopropyl could have another name similar to what we did in the isobutyl. If we did that, isopropyl would be 1, 2, and isopropyl can also be written as 1-methyl ethyl. 1-methyl ethyl. So that is more a complex name. Okay, so this is more examples of naming aromatic compounds.